Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be taking you through the process of making a Tormund costume. So to do this we're going to use secondhand clothes and a bit of creativity, and at the end we're going to put them on my partner who's got the red beard and the blonde hair, and we'll see what it looks like. So let's get started. The first thing I did to get started with this project is I went to all the op shops around town and had a look for bits and pieces that I thought could be useful for this project. Let me show you what I got. So first up I got a jacket, which was important. This one was $9, so hey big spender, but it's got a faux suede kind of feel, and I think that the colour will work really well. And yeah, we'll just have to hide the collars and the pockets and things as we go. So the next group of things I all got at the same op shop. This little number I got because of just the furry nice collar bit, which would be great to stick to the jacket, give it some texture. I felt really bad buying this because the lady at the op shop was saying, "Oh, it's such a lovely little jacket, you're going to have a great time wearing that." And I thought, I'm going to chop that up and make it into a project. So sorry lady. The next thing I got was this scarf. Again, just some furry texture I can add later on. I guess we'll take this stretchy bit out of it. We'll see how it goes. My dog really likes this. We got this little vinyl-y fake leather thing, a little skirt. The Tormund jacket kind of has a leather feature on the neck. We'll be able to chop this up. I didn't feel too bad about destroying this little skirt. Oh, and the belt. The all-important belt. So I looked at quite a few. This seemed to fit the look. We'll see how it goes. And I also got some lemons. These are on sale at the op shop, so I thought, why not? The whole second op shop was $10. So in total, this project is going to cost $19, plus like a little bit of thread and things like that, but that's nothing. That's all the stuff we got. The next thing I want to do before I start cutting and sticking and sewing and things like that is to do up a sketch. I've found a couple of reference images. Using those reference images, I'll come up with some sketches. So let's get sketching. The main thing I did when sketching was looked at where the fur was and where the different materials were and captured that on paper. Then I got brave enough to cut things. So first I went down the seam of this vinyl skirt, and the plan was to open it out and to make it into a bit of a scarf. I realised I could cut this extra seam along here and open it right out. So trying it on showed me that I could make it a bit thinner and a bit longer. So I did that. I cut down the middle and attached the lengths together. So here I pinned it, tried it on, and once I was happy with it, just hand stitched those two bits together, and Bob's your uncle. Voila, we had a sort of leather look scarf, if you will, and that we could put on the costume. So that bit's done. Now I could really get stuck into this fur. So the main thing with here was detaching the fur from the jacket, which was not too bad once I got going. Just could rip it eventually. And the plan here was to have as much fur salvaged as possible so that then I could start to cut it and attach it to the jacket. But this bit came out really nicely and yeah, all in one piece, which was really great news. So with Mr. $9 jacket here, the plan was I wanted to hold the fur up to the bits where I wanted the fur and make up a shape that I would cut it out to. So for the shoulders, I wanted to make it so it was a little bit curved along the top, and then the plan was to stitch this fur onto the shoulders to make it look right. At this stage as well, I wanted to use some of that brown fur. So what I needed to do here is to crack it open and get the maximum size for this fur. Again, once I got the seams going, I pretty much could just rip it and open it right out. And then once I had it open, I was good to go, good to use. Similar to the other fur, just held it up to the jacket, worked out where I wanted to go, and then cut. I ended up leaving the elastic bits in there because it gave it a nice thickness, a nice texture, so no problems, off we went. And then on to sewing. I didn't do a great job of the sewing by any means. It was basically just enough stitches to hold it on so that it will stay on for the day, and then just went around the edges holding it all down. If you wanted to make it so it would last for a bit longer, I would advise putting some more stitches in. Here I probably did it every few centimeters, and like I said, it's enough to hold it in place, but it wouldn't last if you wanted to wear it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And then it was time to try it on. So it was working pretty well. I'd only attached the front at this stage, but I was happy with it, and I ended up doing the other shoulder, but I didn't film that. So here we cut to the next bit where I'm slicing up some fur in long lengths, and this fur is going to be placed along the length of the jacket. So here I'm just kind of lining it up and working out that it looks fine. And then once I was happy where it was sitting, I just stitched it right down, and there we go. The next thing was the sleeves, and I found that I could just fold that other piece of brown fur down, fold it in half and attach it along the length. And that was going to make a nice elasticized sleeve. And I didn't even have to sew it directly to the jacket. So those sleeve loops can just go straight over. And there was even enough extra fur so I could make 2 little cuffs for the legs. So we're going to have matching sleeves and legs, which is great. For the leg pieces, because I only had a little bit, I ended up cutting it in half, but then that was fine. So here's the work in progress. You can see the sleeves and the bits of fur I've put on. At this stage, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. The main thing that I want to fix is that I don't think it's quite long enough, and I do still have a little bit of fur left. So using this last little bit of fur, I'm going to make the coat a little bit longer. To lengthen the jacket, I laid out the fur that I had left and realized it was the perfect length to go all the way around the jacket. I was going to just cut a little bit off the end, and I did that so I could add a few features after I was done, just so it looked like little bits of animal fur hanging off. I thought that was kind of Tormund-esque. And yeah, we just stitched and stitched away, and at the end it was all fully attached to the bottom, and we had a longer jacket than before. The last thing I did was I realized the scarf was going to be a little bit tricky to put on and take off properly, so it sat on the collar. So I added a couple of ties just using string, and that's going to make it sit and stay nicely on the shoulders. To put the whole thing together, we're going to combine a pair of jeans, a pair of boots, and a little sword, and then we should have the full Tormund look complete. Now, before the final reveal, we have one extra bonus segment. This segment is called Op Shop Pockets. Op Shop Pockets! In this segment, I show you what we found in the pockets of things for this project. And today's Op Shop Pockets find was a used packet of Strepsils. Yum! Now on to the reveal. Well, that brings us to the end of the video and the end of this project. I'm covered in fur. This fur just got everywhere. It's all over the table. It's all over the ground. I'm definitely going to have to vacuum after this, so you're welcome. I learned a few things from doing this project. I'd never done something in this genre before. One thing I learned was that fur is super forgiving. You can kind of just cut it and it looks fine and sort of join it, like this section here, and it almost looks like it's joined, so that was nice to learn. I also learnt that this kind of thing is great because you can just cut rough and put things where you like it, and it's more the overall look you're going for rather than an exact copy of a costume. In terms of things I'd change if I was going to do it again, if I wanted to be super serious and if we were going to something like Comic-Con, I would probably look into more aging of the fabrics and making everything just look dirtier and muddier, because right now it's ended up looking kind of nice and clean, which is fine for what we're doing. But overall, what I want you all to take home from this project is that it basically took no equipment and no skills. All I needed to be able to do for this was to cut things and sew them. So even if you've never sewn before, you could do this project. Please be brave if you want to make it, just give it a crack. If you liked this video, please give it a big like, thumbs up, and please subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. Also, if you have ideas for things you'd like to see me craft, make, do in the future, chuck something in the comments, let me know, and I'll have a read of it, and who knows, maybe I'll make that video. So until next time, please keep crafting, and see you later!
It's too dangerous to mess around with an axe.